Okay, this is section 6-3. Section is called Using Proportions. Proportions are when two ratios are equal to each other, or two fractions are equal to each other. And so one thing we know is when two fractions are equal, that the cross multiplication of those numbers will also be equal. And if you cross multiply and they're not equal, then the two fractions are not equal. So that's also called cross products, product being multiply, cross products. So let's go on to example 1. Example 1 says solve the proportion. We have A over 25 equals 52 over 100. So I know that you guys have your own methods to doing this here. I know that dividing by 4 will get you 100 divided by 4 is 25, so you could divide that by 4 to get this answer, which would be 13. But what we're trying to do is use this cross-multiplying technique. So 100 times A equals 25 times 52. So after you cross-multiply, divide by the number with the letter. So we've got 25 times 52 divided by 100, which if you see the multiplication right here, 52 times 25 is 1,300, and then you got to take 1,300 divided by 100. Well, anytime you have that with zeros, you can. We're just moving the decimal over 2 places and 2 places. So it ends up giving you 13 over 1, which is just 13. So A equals 13, final answer. That was example 1A. Let's go to example 1B. This says 12.5 meters. Nope, not meters. 12.5 over m equals 15 over 7.5. So this can work for decimals also. So again, this might seem like, okay, I don't see a pattern in this where I can just easily, like the last problem, divide by 4. Although there are shortcuts to doing that. You just might have to know some more math. But the safe way to do all these is always to cross multiply. So I've got m times 15 equals 12.5 times 7.5. After you cross multiply, divide by the number with the letter, which is 15. So m equals all of those multiplied and then the divide by 15 part. So after multiplying 12.5 times 7.5, I came up with 93.75, and I still need to divide that by 15 to get my final answer. So again, we divide here. So after this division, you can see that m equals 6.25 after the division. So that is example 1B. Let's go to example 2. And this problem says, refer to the recipe at the beginning of the lesson. So in other words, look on the previous page where the lesson starts. And it says how much soda should be used if 16 ounces of each type of juice are used. So if you look over there at the table, it talks about fruit punch, and it says 12 ounces for frozen lemonade, frozen grape juice, frozen orange juice, and it says 40 ounces of lemon lime soda. So that's the information you're taking. So basically what's happening is you've got 12 ounces of juice, and I would have put ounces, but it's more important that it's the juice, and the 12 ounces of juice is going to 16. And that's what the question is saying. What if they were 16 used? Well, this needs to be equal to another fraction. In the recipe, it's 12 ounces of juice or frozen lemonade, all that stuff. and it also says 40 ounces for soda. So the 12 compares with the 40 of soda, so 16 needs to compare with some other number for soda. So that's basically how you set up your proportion, and there are shortcuts available if you can find it, but cross multiplying works every time. So 12 times x equals 16 times 40, and then divide by the number with the letter, which is 12. So we've got 16 times 40 divided by 12. Let's figure that out. Okay, so when I multiplied 16 times 40, I came up with 640, and I still got to divide that by 12. So as you can see, when you divide 640 divided by 12, or 12 into 640, it ends up being 53.3 repeating, and that would be ounces of soda. So as we can see on here, 53.3 repeating. In the book they have 53 1/3, same thing, decimal or fraction form, but it would be ounces of soda for your final units. And that is example 2. Let's go to example 3. And example 3 says, Louisville, Kentucky is home to the world's largest baseball glove. The glove is 4 feet high, 10 feet long, and 9 feet wide, and it also weighs 15 tons. Find the height of the glove in centimeters if 1 foot equals 30.48 centimeters. So here they're giving you a scale, and I hope what we know to do with scales is make that a fraction. So scales become fractions, and then a lot of times those get put into proportions. And this is just saying find the height of the glove in centimeters. So when they give you all that information of 4 feet high, 10 feet long, 9 feet wide, 15 tons it weighs, you only need the 4 feet high part, because that's the only one that tells you how high it is, and the question is asking for height. So you do not need 10 feet long, 9 feet wide, or 15 tons. You don't even use them at all. So 4 feet high, comparable to x centimeters, and there is your proportion. So go ahead and cross multiply. 1 times x equals 4 times 30.48. Divide by the number with the letter, which is 1, which doesn't technically do anything to it. So all we have to do is multiply 4 times 30.48. Dividing by 1 would not change your answer. So let's do that on the side now. So after multiplying, looks like our answer is 121.92 centimeters, and that is the answer that they have in the book. So that's the last example. Best of luck.